It's in response to a comment last week about the Harrisburg bankruptcy and have being no connection at all as to what is happening in Union County with Covanta. I do see a connection, not with Covanta, because Covanta wasn't the villain there. They were trying to pick up the pieces afterward. According to a history of that Harrisburg incinerator debacle, the villain was a company called Barlow Projects, which is a Colorado-based incinerator technology company that underbid everyone and started rebuilding the facility in 2000. They failed miserably. They're bankrupt. The connection is in how Barlow was hired. Now, according to Fred Clark, who's the chairman of the Harrisburg Authority at the time, and this was from an article in 2007 when Covanta was coming in and they were expecting big things, but they were really knocking Barlow. And he said that as a part-time unpaid authority board member, he and his colleagues were not in a position to do much digging or research. They largely relied on the recommendations of staff and hired experts. He's quoted as saying, "I'm not an engineer, nor are any other board members, nor are the vast majority of the people who serve in these roles. We do rely heavily on the professionals who guide us and give us opinions." And they did a lot of studies, one of the most studied things that the ex-mayor, Stephen Reed, ever done. Now this is where I see an eerie familiarity to Union County and what you're doing here. Among the issues I've seen are Sullivan Associates coming in and with a phony actuarial report. Really, I'm an actuary. I spotted that right away. Justifying providing lifetime health benefits. And that I see is $50 million. Dakota swearing that SREX would pay for solar panels. There's another $15 million coming. Getting into the wedding banquet business to build the Galloping Hill Clubhouse. That's $20 million. Refurbishing Oakwood Plaza, thinking Section 8 housing would pay for it, that's another $20 million. And we saw Music Fest, that's another $1 million a year. And finally, the UCUA Covanta deal, which first was sold as $276 million, benefiting the taxpayers. Now it's $75 million, which was mentioned at the last debate. And when you factor in the additional $24 million in debt, $1 million in fees, and an undisclosed number that I still haven't gotten a number on, lost revenue, I'd say $100 million. So this is basically a $50 million loser if you look at it objectively. So the connection here being that for Harrisburg, which has an annual budget of only $56 million, being duped into $288 million in debt for one project, that was like a massive stab wound that just killed the city. Whereas in Union County, what I see is just a bunch of pricks accomplishing the same thing.
Excuse me, sir, will you clean up your language? Mr. Berry, that language is not acceptable and it's not correct to use that language here, and I'd appreciate it, since this is the second time I've had to mention it to you, if you would refrain from that in the future. Is there anyone else who'd like to comment?